What's going on, everyone? My name's Encore, and this is your daily reminder that tomorrow never comes. Meaning, none of our tomorrows are guaranteed, so let's do what we were putting off for some unforeseen date in the future and get it done today. For me and this channel, that's all about crypto, anything to do with crypto in the crypto arena. This is a technology that's here to stay, and you guys need to be a part of it. Nothing I ever say is financial advice, of course, but this is my strong viewpoint that this is something to get in sooner rather than later. All right. Now, as I've made my content or videos on YouTube and I've watched plenty of others, we tend to gloss over one simple thing, which is when someone is ready who has never been on a crypto platform before, when they're ready to invest, how do they do it? Where do they go? And so this kind of, I've thought about how would it be or how was it when I first started about 2 years ago. And then it was kind of, reconfirmed when I was listening to BitBoy Crypto. If you guys don't know him, very influential figure on YouTube and other platforms. And he mentioned that, hey, we tell everyone to do your own research, but once it's time for them to do their own research, we never kind of lead them. We don't lead anyone to where they can do their own research. How do they even go about doing it? So I wanted to just, let's go back to basics. How do you open an account? Where do you go? Which platforms do you use? Now, today's video is going to be centered around Canadian platforms, one in particular. Reason being is, one, I'm from Canada, so and two is Ontario. So every province within Canada has their own mandate, their own regulations. And Ontario is one of the most stringent ones of all the provinces. And so they say, hey, follow our guidelines. If you don't, yeah, no thanks. No one can use them. And a lot of these crypto platforms, they're saying, listen, it's too much of a headache. We get way too many users. We're not in any one specific jurisdiction. Blah 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 blah. Right? So they just say no, we're not going to do it. And Binance, if you guys have ever heard, very large platform. They actually were okay for Ontarians to register on, and then they didn't comply, and they said, yeah, we're not going to do it. And apparently now that they've actually have compliant. I haven't checked that out yet though. But anyway, so where do you go? What do you do? What platforms are there? Now for me, I already have accounts on these, and I can't go through them again. So I'm going to pick a third one, and hopefully, I don't even remember. I was pretty much making accounts on every platform possible, just to see how they work and what to do. So the very first one here that I ever used was CoinSquare. Good platform. I mean, it got the job done for what I wanted to do. Just a lot of stuff I didn't like with it overall. But in terms of just doing a transaction and getting what you want, it was more than serviceable. So there was CoinSquare. One that I currently use now is called Netcoins. I actually like this one. It's pretty basic in terms of what it does and what it allows you to buy. There aren't many options on here. CoinSquare has many more options, but it's a seamless process to maneuver around the platform, to make transactions happen, to purchase crypto assets. Very, very, very seamless. So I do like this one. It's just unfortunately I can't make a new account, so we can't roll through this together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to minimize this. Okay, so there is a platform called Coinberry in Canada. It's a pretty well-known one. Not the greatest of reviews. Out of 549 at 3.3. Not great. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to see if I can actually make an account here. All right, so all it's asking for your email first, and then it's just going to get you into the system. At the same time, they capture your email whether you make an account or not, and they'll probably advertise to you. So be prepared for that if that is what's happening. So what does Coinberry says? You can get started in under 60 seconds. That's a good thing. It's quick, hopefully painless, and 0% Canadian deposit and 0% Canadian withdrawal fees. So typically, CoinSquare and other platforms, they will charge you for depositing funds, for withdrawing funds. So the fact that Coinberry doesn't, do they capture that those lost fees somewhere else. I don't know, but it's a good marketing tool, and great if they actually stick to it and don't add fees anywhere else. And here, first pure play crypto trading platform in Canada to be registered with FinTrack and the OSC. So these are, you know, the factions that kind of, they're very, very strict, vague and strict at the same time, right? There's no clear ruling on certain things, but when it comes to marketing platforms, that's where they get very strict of what a crypto platform can market, what they say, what they promise, all of that. So that's where they get very strict. Anyways, let's go ahead and kind of start one here. So what I like about these guys, oh, okay, no, they don't say that. So I don't know, just make one up. No, I'm not a robot. Okay, so like everything these days, once you put in your email, it's going to ask you to confirm your email. So you're just going to go into the account of which you, the email account that you provided, and you should see a email from Coinberry that's asking you just click the button and verify your account. Okay, so we're going to confirm. So here we go. All right. So right off the bat, you may be wondering, why are these guys asking me for my phone number? And this is a nice security. So they do obviously take your email, take your phone number for their own benefits, right? They can advertise to you, they can sell it to somebody else to advertise to you. They just have your information in their system. But the security here is that they will send you a direct code. So let's say your email was ever hacked or anything like that. It's just an added layer that nobody's going to get access to this specific code that will change, you know, after a period of time. And so it's just a security layer. So we're just going to put in the number. And we're going to say send the code. All right, so then you just go to your whatever phone you provided. Do not provide a landline. You will not get a code. Okay, perfect. The code works. We're good to go. And so there's something called KYC, which is Know Your Customer. And a lot of these centralized platforms where you're pretty much getting in with just your password, but the assets sit on their platform. They need to know who you are, so they're going to ask for ID and certain things to kind of verify who you are. Okay, so here you go. So it's Know Your Customer, KYC requirements set out by FinTrack, and it's obtained strictly as per their regulations and is encrypted and stored. Yada yada yada. Okay, so here, so when you're in here, you have to provide certain identity, right? So whether it's from a passport, whether it's a driver's license, or some type of identity card, and you do have to provide front and back. Okay, so that is something. And so what you can do is, it's kind of an interesting feature, but you can actually, even though you're on a desktop, if you are, you can actually say, hey, I want to do this on my phone. It's easier to take pictures on my phone and submit whatever information I need. So you just get the link, you go to your phone, and you are good to go. Right? Yeah, so they actually want you to do it off your phone. Okay? So that's how they would do it, is they would say, okay, just scan it here with your phone, and that's going to take to their site that's only for submitting this type of information, right? I want to see if I can get in. Hold on. No, they won't let me do that. Okay. So you would actually have to go through that process. I actually can't get through that without actually submitting the information again, kind of doing all that. So you would just take that link, the QR code, or you can copy the link and use it in your phone. And you can actually do the process through your phone, which is a lot easier, right? You're not going to use a webcam or anything like that. You just use your phone, take pictures of it, submit it, and you know, they'll take a period of time 12 hours, 24 hours, maybe a day or two to kind of come back with, okay, is this good? Is this not good? And then they will kind of say, yeah, the picture wasn't great, redo it, which has happened to me a bunch of times. Or they will say, yeah, you're good to go, and go ahead and proceed. So that didn't work. That did not work for me. So we're going to do this. Since I have a CoinSquare account, okay, and so this is what happens here, is that once you make your account, there's a security feature called 2FA, right? Two-factor authentication. It's a great tool to have, and maybe there's a video that needs to be made just on that, and I'm sure you can find a bunch right on YouTube. But what that does is it adds another security layer. So it's a specific code that's generated, a new code that's generated every 30 seconds or so, and all you're going to get is a Google Authenticator app, and that's going to provide that code for you. And it's a simple process. You download the app, you hit the big plus sign, and it's gonna ask you for the QR code. And that QR code is actually found on whatever platform you're on. So in this case, CoinSquare or Coinberry or Netcoins, whatever platform you're on, they will actually provide for you the QR when you say yes, enable 2FA. And then you just scan that with your phone through the app, and it'll automatically set in as an account and generate, a randomized six character code that you would actually have to provide when you're logging in. If you are withdrawing or doing some kind of transaction, it's just there as a security feature, and it's tied to your phone. Okay, so I'm gonna go here. I already have it, so we're just gonna enter this in. All right. So now this isn't Coinberry, right? But all the platforms are really, really similar. So once you get through the verification process, and I'll show you at some point here, somewhere on the platform, that you are verified. Okay, and it'll give you kind of a nice dashboard, right? Here's your dashboard. In this case, there's different tabs for it up here at the top. And it'll just say kind of, okay, how do you want to fund your account? Do you want to withdraw your account? Some advanced trading features, and give you kind of a history of what's happening. Okay, so here we're looking at total in US dollars. There's nothing in this account, so that's not going to be an issue here. Now, for CoinSquare, what has been set as default is US dollars, and they're saying there's no actual method for sending US dollars to the platform. So you just go over here, you go to Canadian, and they'll give you options of, well, how can you put Canadian dollars onto the platform? So you can do it either as an Interact e-transfer, wire transfer, those two. Now, wire transfers, you guys can see over here that there is a minimum threshold that it has to have, that the transaction has to meet in order for it to qualify for, in this case, a wire transfer. So $10,000 at least in order for you to be able to send a wire transfer, okay? $20 is a minimum threshold for Interact e-transfer, and then it's up to $10,000, because anything over that, you'd have to use a wire transfer. So the very, very simple, and what I recommend on the channel is always dipping your toe, right? So you're not putting in a large sum of money until you feel comfortable doing so, if you ever feel comfortable doing so. So whether it's $20, $50, $100, $500, whatever it is, you have to find the sum amount of money that is comfortable for you as a learning experience. That's it. That's what you're trying to do. You just want to have the asset and see what it does. And then once you feel comfortable, if you do, you add more accordingly. Okay. So the easiest option I've dealt with on every platform has been the Interact e-transfer. Okay. And it'll give you conditions here in terms of what happens, or at least an outline of kind of how the process works. So they're saying it's, up to 5 minutes. Here's a minimum, here's a maximum, and there's no fee to it. So that's always a good thing. And when you're looking at withdrawals, 72-hour wait period. Yeah, not the greatest thing, right? If you wanted to move your assets quickly, this is a first time Canadian dollar deposit, right? So on withdrawals, so that first transaction that you do, that's where they really tend to hold things. After that, you're usually pretty good within a few hours or a few minutes, depending on what the transaction size is. And then they'll give you limitations. You know, Interact e-Transfer limited to 3 transactions per calendar day. And then on top of this, your bank will have daily limits and possibly weekly limits for how much you can deposit. Right. So typically it's 3,000 per day, and then 10,000, I believe, over a week's time period. And then once you've hit those, whether it's in day 1, 2, or 3 or 4, it doesn't matter. You just can't put any more until the next week. So there are those stipulations that you have to kind of figure out. And then here, you know, note that your bank may ask you to contact them to approve this e-transfer. So these banks, they're not exactly the most crypto friendly. And, you know, they, under the guise of helping you and protecting you, which is not the case, they put these things in here where they'll block it, and then you have to contact them and all that. So that hasn't happened to me in terms of Interact e-Transfer. But if you ever, some platforms will allow you to deposit via credit card, and they will block it for sure. You may get a transaction here and there through them. I have. But for the most part, they block it, and then they'll call you like 3 days later, as if that's going to help you. So there is that possibility as well. Okay. So that's what it is. You put your email in, you put your amount in, and then you kind of just request transfer. And typically, let's see. Yeah. So they've sent an email. Let's see what the email is. Oh, no. Okay. So CoinSquare will do things a little bit different. They're going to send you an email just with the details in it for $20. Once you hit accept to it, then they'll go ahead and do it. But for the most part, a lot of these platforms, you just they will give you information of where to send, where to send what address to send your Interact e-transfers. If you guys haven't ever sent an Interact e-transfer before, that's not what this video is going to cover. But basically, it's the same as sending it anywhere else. Most of these crypto platforms will give you a reference number that you just stick into the memo section. And so you put in your amount, you put who it's going to, which these crypto platforms will give you, and then they'll give you a memo, a message to put in so that they can track and quickly allocate those funds to your account. And that's it. And that may take a few hours, might take, typically it's, could be a few minutes to a few hours is usually what it'll be once everything's been kind of confirmed. If it takes a day or two, just contact them, make sure everything kind of aligns with what they have. And then you're in here, you're in your dashboard, you kind of want to buy something, you're like, wow, I don't even know what to buy here, right? So, you can look at, every platform will have a chart. And then you just kind of go through and see what you want to buy and how it kind of works out. So you would just click on the asset. It's going to give you a little chart. Yeah. And so you can kind of see how crypto's been going. Right. And then you can do... So then we're going to go over here. So every platform does it differently, how you kind of interact with it in terms of buying it. But you just do a quick trade. You would select Canadian dollars. I don't have anything in here, but you would select Canadian dollars. And then, so for $20 we did it. You put in how much you would, and they'll give you these little quick things where you can say 25% of what's in your account, 50%, 100%, whatever the case is. And you are going to buy whichever asset you want. So it would be Bitcoin, $20 a Bitcoin, and then it gives you a quote. And the reason why you're getting a quote for a specified amount of time is because the price changes, right? Minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day. So that's always going to change. And then that's it. All you do is you hit accept, and you're going to have $20 worth of Bitcoin in your account. And then you just kind of track it. That's it. It's no more complex than that. Okay. So fund the account. Okay. Go through the verifications in order to be able to fund the account. That's always the fun part. Okay, so provide your passport, provide your driver's license, some type of ID, front and back. Sometimes they'll even have you they'll always do something where, okay, we got it, and then they'll have a software program that asks you to put your face in there, so it takes images of your face and matches them together. Once you have that, you get a dashboard, and then that dashboard you can go through and just say, well, how much of whatever asset you want to buy. It's a very, very seamless process. Okay, so unfortunately we didn't get to go through the Coinberry platform that I wanted to, but it doesn't matter what platform you're on, they're all relatively the same. My suggestion is open a bunch of different platforms, because you never know what's going to happen, and play with them. That's the best way to learn, is get on here and play with these platforms. Everyone gets kind of daunted by the technology or the information you think you need to be on these platforms. It's really not difficult. Once you kind of do one transaction, you're good to go, and it's like riding a bike. You never forget it. It may take a little time to figure it out, but it's not difficult. That's the main thing. It's not difficult. Do it. Dip your toe in. You see here, $20 was the minimum threshold. You can manage. If you can manage $20, put it in there, play around, and you guys will see how this turns out. Okay. Hopefully that provided you guys some value. It is in real time, and I will do another one for my U.S. My U.S. family out there. But so this is for the Canadians out there. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them below. Subscribe, hit the notifications, do all that good stuff. And remember, tomorrow never comes. So you have no guarantee that anything is going to be set for you or there for you tomorrow or someday in the future. Start doing your own research. Look at now. All right, guys. Take care. We'll see you in the next one.